Here we go. Y'all should see that scene. Hopefully it doesn't give you double audio anymore. It's giving me double audio there. There we go, and we should be good to go now. And there we go, they sent the bands, and they're waiting for me to join. There we go, I've joined. I'll get the proper screen set up here. There we go. They're in. So here we go, we are starting off. GameFound link still exists? Oh, that is true. That is a GameFound QR code? Nope, I don't. There we go. Don't need that. Thank you, Callus. So here we are. We've got Burton the Rapid from Algernon, which is a coda. Got some pretty cool stuff, pretty classic. Some Rush there. Nature's Call, Dust Pixie, Nepenthe Seed, a Mimicry, that's certainly worth noting, and a Rise with some really good disc creatures in Charette, Guardian Demon, Pit Lord. Pit Lord's an interesting one there. Along with Sweet 3 Fates to get rid of it same turn though. Got that classic bait and switch, double routine jobs, a Secret Needle, a Fagin with 3 Urchins, a Ring of Invisibility. So that's Burton the Rapid from AlgernonR for their first deck. And over on Zaramis' side, yep, perfect, they're good to go. We have Zaramis brings one of their signature decks, He That Dreams About Car Keys, which I know Zaramis has talked about often on the podcast. This is a classic Zaramis deck. Got a lot going on. Look at that Saurian, the double Consul Primus, double Ludos, Scylla and Charybdis. Lots of good stuff going on there. So AlgernonR is one to flip and is the first player. Looks like Zaramis mulliganed to down to 5. And Algernon starts with a Guardian Demon. Interesting. Zaramis leading off with Star Alliance. They've got a Survey. They discard Scout Pete. They play a Lay of the Land. They draw 1 card, but they take Dino Alien into play. AlgernonR is saying these two decks are already faced off, and Zaramis won that 3-0 that time. AlgernonR leads off on second turn, though, with a routine job to steal 1, a Secret Needle, a Relentless Whispers. Yep, doing pretty good there. No steal, though. Got a Lumalu coming down from Zaramis with the draw enhancement. Got a Dino Beast. And a Vault's Blessing to burst all the way up to 4 with those 2 mutants. No risk of too many mutants over there on AlgernonR's side of the coda. Oh, very good. 3 Fates. Awesome. Really good. Discards and a Rise, but really good 3 Fates value there. AlgernonR saying not the best start. Zaramis plays Resurgence, returns Dino Beast their hand and Lumalu. Awesome. We get the Dino, we get the Ghost Hawk down there. No Ghost Hawk value, which is unfortunate, and so far tied for Amber. Got a Wild Spirit over there on the Ghost Hawk. Not a bad place for it, as they probably don't want, exhausting that Untamed right away. Algernon probably doesn't want to shuffle that Ghost Hawk back or give Algernon the chance to get it back in deck. Oh, Anthony here is a swift response. Snap Starline's called to take Algernon off check there. And then Subdue deals 2 damage and stops that Guardian Demon. Very good. Is that a... That is 2 Subdues, 1 double damage enhance. Oh, and we've got a Shuffles, which definitely requires... Oh, another 3 Fates. So 3 Fates coming out early and being pretty big. One-sided, too. The Shuffles here is definitely going to be require a response from Zaramis. But forging the key 1 there is certainly probably a sigh of relief for Zaramis, as that is a little bit of pressure taken off of them. Okay, they got a Faust. Axiom of Grisk takes that Shuffles deals with that Shuffles right away. So taxes them 1, but they do forge that key. With that Secret Needle over there, I don't imagine that ward is going to last very long. Algernon does indeed choose to go Shadows. Oh, Urchin for the Steel 1. Oh, and Ghostly Hand. Primed. And it got a Ring of Invisibility over there on the Urchin. Secret Needle does indeed take that ward off of Faust. Subject Kirby. I play Commander Chan. And it's going to be very interesting to see if... I have imagined this deck is going to have a hard time dealing with AlgernonR's. Sorry, AlgernonR's deck's going to have a hard time dealing with Zaramis' board once it starts getting set up. Because both 3 Fates are gone, and Zaramis still has had quite a demanding board. That Tournament over will definitely slow it down. Yes, no, that's absolutely true, Wethel. We did see the Resurgence come out very early, so I won't be getting any value there. I've never personally played against Karkis, but man, have I heard a lot about it. Zaramis is dismayed by the slow start here of Karkis. Yes, Algernon is taking a commanding lead here. With no board. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Zaramis saying that the two 3 Fates early were very nasty, not allowing him to properly establish the board. Hey, Ketzer. Yes, welcome. Glad you could catch this as well. I think it'll be some really, really good games. And you know, Algernon is saying that's pretty much all the creature control they have in the deck, which very well might be true, but if the tempo they've gained enough off of these early plays is enough, then they can probably just carry that all the way home if they can slow down Zaramis' board just enough. And it looks like Karen is ready. So we'll get Karen in here.
Hello, getting on video in a second.
Perfect. Karen should be able to be heard by the masses.
My people need me.
So AlgernonR goes back into that key, just barely stopped there by the Faust, but AlgernonR goes back into Shadows for the Urchin, a routine job stealing 2, and that special delivery, gets rid of that Faust. Yep. Yeah, AlgernonR going up to 11 amber, and I'm not sure Zaramis has a good answer.
Hmm. It's a big enough board.
Big enough board, but might be too late. Yeah, bait and switch does steal one. Nice to see some late game value off that with already at 7 amber. Yeah, Zaramis concedes.
Yeah.
Yep. Those early three fates just were too much for Zaramis' board to not get established. And Zaramis calling out that, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't play around the special delivery properly.
Well, the beauty part of Hexad is that that is not the end of the story.
Karen, do you mind muting yourself on the Video Ninja?
Yep, all done. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
But yeah, not the end of the story in Nordic Hexad here, so.
Not at all. Yeah, exactly, Wethel. Too late with the Saurian board. As Zaramis, you know, belied during the game. His board flood did not come out when he needed it.
Yeah, so I'm assuming he was playing car keys there?
Yes, this is car keys versus Burton Le Rapid.
Okay, yeah, actually this is a game that I've seen played many times. Like, we've talked about it as a kind of classic NKFL matchup. Burton having that 3 Fates answer and the Rush answer, whereas, you know, Zaramis is bringing these kind of like flood decks. They're an interesting counter to one another. Sometimes one gets the game, sometimes one gets the other. You know, it's but 3 Fates in particular is becoming a better and better card for Call of the Archons against these like more swarmy decks with high effective power. Burton just doesn't need its board, as you can see, winning with empty board there, so you just get max value off of that every time.
Absolutely. Even with the Guardian Demon, there was a Guardian Demon on board all those turns as well, and just wasn't. Zaramis' board was always too big.
Mm-hmm.
So no, that's really good. As AlgernonR did mention that they played this exact matchup 2 seasons ago, and
yep,
Zaramis won 3-0.
Yeah, no, I mean it is. Both of these decks are absolute fire, and the pilots know each other's decks. Like there's no secrets there. It's just one of them is gonna blow up.
And so we do have the bans here. Zaramis was very kind enough to share those with me, and AlgernonR was as well. So here, for Zaramis' deck, we see that AlgernonR banned Helena and Zap for Zaramis, which I think are reasonable bans there for AlgernonR's side. But Zaramis did save car keys, which I think again is a probably reasonable save from. Is more than a reasonable save from Zaramis, but unfortunately the save deck did not at all pan out the way it needed to.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot in Hexad. It's like I'll save something and it's like, okay, this is the perfect deck for the situation or whatever, and then like it just sometimes doesn't work out. I've had a time where I saved a deck and then I actually never ended up playing it. Like I played the other 3. Like
yeah, because sometimes you save a deck for a specific matchup, and if that matchup gets if that deck gets picked before you pick your save deck, then you never get a chance. And then the other side.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So on the other side, Zaramis banned Shiver the Squalid in McLeod off of AlgernonR's list, and AlgernonR saved their bottom right deck, which I do not know how to pronounce. But we do know that save deck is still in the running, with Burton the Rapid being the first pick.
Okay, cool. I'm in as a spectator, so I can keep up in real time now.
Perfect. Oh, did they have their game started already?
Yeah, the game is up.
Where is it? Found it.
Got Riku watching as well. Let's go Swindle.
Whole team showing up here.
Yeah. Enough creature control? Jeez. Looking at triple Quintrino Flux, double Lights Out, triple Penny. The good thing, I gotta say, as far as Zaramis is concerned, he dodged this deck with with card keys, which might have been why he chose it for game one, thinking that there's a lower probability to run into this, because this is a nightmare for card keys with a double Lights Out.
Certainly.
So we're in a much better situation with Zaramis piloting. How are we choosing to pronounce this? Ixolix?
She who critiques the reef.
We just completely avoid it.
I'm going to ignore the hard to pronounce word.
I like it. I like it. That bounce is still going to do some damage here, but obviously you can't bounce the Infernuses. Troubadour is going to be really hard to play against this deck with the double Lights Out.
Mm-hmm. Probably a discard.
Yeah, probably a discard on those gateways too. But
so Zaramis saying that both games had terrible hands and terrible mulligans. We had the Quixo quickly responded to by Zaramis' standardized testing. That was the only played there on the second turn. AlgernonR also having a slow start, with Mutagenic Serum and even Ivan being played. But we have High Priest Torvus and discard of Axiom-Grist.
Yeah, with the discard there. So yeah, Zaramis is at a little bit of a disadvantage here because he has a lot of cards that he's going to have to discard. His huge advantage here, though, is that he's got these Infernuses, which are going to be super high value in this particular matchup. They are going to be able to remove those Lights Out, and then that's going to let the Saurian board stick a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
The Quintrinos are always going to be a problem, but...
and the Discombobulator coming out early is going to help a lot against those red pennies.
Yeah, I wish we had gotten it on a slightly bigger body here. What could we... I guess there's a Saurus Rex. But yeah, getting that out there. And we do have a Shadows Call, so just in time, maybe. Spike Trap. Flashback
Lights
to the last
out.
game here.
Dirty.
It's such a rough thing for this deck. So there's the Stolen Amber. Stop at 5.
AlgernonR off to a pretty commanding start so far.
Yeah. It's I mean, I'm trying, I always try to think of ways for, the underdog, so to speak, to get the game here.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems I'm trying to kind of suss out what that win condition would be, and every time I can think of one, it's like, okay, well maybe I then board with the Saurian afterwards. You're in a pretty rough situation, right? Because it's like, the boarding doesn't really work. You could get Troubadour value by hitting it immediately with a gateway. So gateway mark Troubadour, maybe Infernus some of those pips away. Could be a massive swing.
Yeah, I think if you're Zaramis, you probably don't want to play Troubadour unless you know both the Lights Out are gone, or you can immediately remove it from the board.
Yeah, well, he's got Implosion as well, so I'm getting Troubadour value seems to be very possible.
Yes.
But it's going to be hard. Yeah, it's going to be really, really hard to line up hands with enough Amber when you're dodging the pennies. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I gotta say, the hands are definitely happening, but I really think that Algernon has put himself in a situation with a very advantageous deck matchup,
I agree. I also think AlgernonR's lineup seems to be a bit of a bane to Zaramis's.
Yeah. And as we've been talking about, these two players are very familiar with what each other are bringing to the table.
Yeah.
We see the Mutagenic Serum cracked in order to stun the QMX. I think Algernon knows to some extent, I have tempo.
Yeah, and there's a discard of the Troubadour and a discard of Gateway to Dis.
Yeah, there's just so many cards that Zaramis has to discard because of the matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And just, due to the situation of getting the Amber stolen, it's just pretty brutal. What do we have purged here? We've got a Lights Out and a Mutagenic Serum. That makes sense to me.
AlgernonR once again keeping up the pressure with the Eclectic Inquiry, archiving the top 2 cards off the deck.
Yeah. Sloppy lab work.
Lots of archiving.
Yep. Discard Quintrino.
Trino Flux. Oh.
Well, he's got it in triplicate, so he's just like always gonna have access to creature control in addition to the Spike Trap. Like,
yeah, it is very true. That is very true.
It's really nice about this deck, actually. It's like those discards, like you can always discard to Encoder if you want to discard to Encoder, because like the multiples are gonna help you out.
Yeah.
Huge.
Man, yeah, everything just getting a ton of value.
Yeah. By the way, thanks to everybody for watching. It's exciting to have 10 live viewers right now for, you know, an NKFL game in Europe's evening, but in the middle of the day in the United States. So, you know, it's pretty cool.
And hopefully all of you are enjoying the coverage, and hopefully the games are as exciting to watch as they are to cast. I know Zaramis is sitting here in a pretty, you know, not in a very good position with 0 amber, 0 keys.
Yeah, I just don't even know what you're pushing for. Like, I truly don't.
I'm presuming you're looking to get some Torvu value here. Doing what? I'm not entirely sure. Actually, I don't know.
There's no real actions that you would
But
want
where
to...
the Ides, maybe?
Yeah, but you're not going to resolve that twice on your opponent.
No.
I mean, you just get a double pit for it.
Yeah.
The Curiosaurus with double Shrix, like, could be good, but right now Algernon has empty board. I think the biggest win condition would be to start purging the removal with the Infernuses, especially the Lights Out, and then get the Saurian down. We see Zaramis playing low or 0 amber most of the time in order to try to get to that condition. I believe that's what he's chasing here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the only thing I could think of that you can get to, even though it's difficult. Decimus is going to fight Nexus, which is interesting.
Yeah. So I think certainly following your game plan, Carrie, we're trying to not basically try and not have any amber.
Yeah, no, you just sit at 0 amber because it only hurts you to have amber until you set up with that Saurian and you've purged at least both Lights Out. Once you've done that, then you only have to deal with the Quintrinos, and then it becomes your game with the Curia.
And there's the second Quintrino Flux, which is going to hurt this board from... Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the biggest deal, though. Like actually, this is... The worst thing that could happen for Zaramis isn't this board clear stuff, because he wants those in the discard, right? Like, the worst thing that could happen for him is that if Algernon produced, like, 5 amber in a turn.
Yes.
Or 6 amber in a turn.
And luckily
that's not...
So luckily the Quintrino Fluxes don't have pips, so not too much to worry about there.
Right, so that's why I think they're lower priority than the Lights Out. Like, you get those out, you get the Discombobulator down on something that he doesn't want to kill or something. You know what I mean? Like, there's a road here. We see the second Infernus come down, and I have to imagine that he's going to purge. He's going to have to go for the removal here. You could get 2 Quintrinos here, which would be really good.
Yeah, double Quintrinos would be great.
But he's going to go for lab work and inquiry.
So wanting those pips.
I mean, I suppose that's the other way to go here. If you make it so that his Quintrinos only do like the 2-sided board clear thing, and you stay at low amber, then Algernon's deck starts to do very little. Zaramis is also usually... I'm interested to see 3 Logos cards. They're all speed plus cards, right? You have one with the draw pip, you have one with the archiving, and the other one with double archiving. So maybe the idea is to slow it down. Yeah, I thought he would at least go for 1 Quintrino there. That's a very interesting play to me. But it tracks, like it makes sense. But it wasn't what I expected. Yeah.
And you know that Zaramis is really negating the value of AlgernonR's shadows over there. With a look over there and a red penny not getting any value.
I think he got 1 steal.
Oh,
I
sorry.
think
Yeah.
Zaramis was at 1. Yeah.
Yeah. 1 steal off of the look over there.
Right. But yeah, no, Algernon is like not able to rush because Zaramis isn't giving him the amber. Monument Strix could be absolutely massive here, because as far as I can tell, Algernon isn't working with any artifact control, so you could at least get some amber on that.
Yeah. There's a universal key lock over there, which could put the game a bit of a standstill if
That's only going to hurt Algernon to play, though.
Yes, yes. Unless they're looking to stop Zaramis from getting any keys once they're at 2.
Right, but I just mean like I think the position that we're in, if I understand what is happening, it is complex. But if I understand what's going on, I think that Simon, Zaramis needs this game to take as long as possible.
Yeah.
And Algernon needs this game to take as short a time as possible. We see 2 important Saurians on the flank there. Curious about the line formation versus the spike trap, which is going to deal 3 to each. That feels like it might be a little bit rough of a spike trap if there's even 1 damage enhancement. Okay, he's playing around booby trap. That makes sense. Yep.
Very good.
Yeah, very, very good. Very clean play there. Rad Penny coming back, though. And then spike trap, leaving just Faust on the board and going to 5.
That's not a good position for that. That's not the position Zaramis wants AlgernonR to be in.
But a quick Saurian call.
Beware the odds.
23 damage.
Nukes that Shadows creature from orbit. And
Yep,
yeah, Monument Tricks there, moving Amber from AlgernonR's pool to the Monument. So a sneaky check here for Zaramis.
Yeah, that is a check.
Yeah, it's a ton of C, Wethel. I completely agree.
Quintrino.
Yeah.
Quintrino, but they do forge the key. So the game plan is starting to work here for Simon. We see another Saurian call, just like relentless with the Saurian. Curia's down. Monument steals 1, basically. Umbra. Okay.
Monument Strix, an incredible artifact, and it's going to be doing a ton of work the more Zaramis can call Saurian here, which they're probably going to want to do over and over. Especially as it does, it's not stealable Amber either.
Yeah, I mean, if Algernon can't push keys, because that deck is not about that, So the earlier purges make a lot of sense in light of that, right? Because Simon's just like, okay, if I get both of our decks slow, then I'm good.
Yeah.
As opposed to trying to get rid of that removal and stuff. He's like, the one thing that'll make Simon lose here would be to, like, have Algernon playing, 7-card turns. Like, but we do see the encoder, which is always an issue. Animator coming down, which is actually really good.
Yes.
It's going to allow an out to the encoder, and it's also going to allow you to use the Monument to Strix out of turn.
Yep.
That's a huge artifact right now.
Animator allows for some really cool niche plays.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so relevant in so many ways in this particular matchup. Which is something that you don't really think about until it starts happening, Like, you're like, oh, wait, yeah, I can use that in every possible way.
Yeah.
A really interesting deck from Zaramis here, just like it wouldn't be the
double red
first thing
penny.
you would think of. Yeah.
Trying to steal every ounce of Amber out of Zaramis' pool that they can.
Yeah. Those pennies just getting productive is like the worst possible case scenario in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
But,
especially
oh,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was saying, like, the good thing that's, like, Simon has managed to provide himself a win condition here, at the very least, which is
Definitely
further than we were in the beginning, because, like, the hands were just so bad. I'm like, like, what are we kind of even fishing for? But now it's, like, starting to at least have something to chase, where Algernon is having things that, he has to reply to. But you were saying?
Yeah, I think if Algernon has any way to get these pennies back in the deck, it's going to be very advantageous for them by base sitting at draw 1. Zaramis does not want to see.
Stack of coins is going to do that job.
Yep, there it is.
Just an unlimited amount of C in this deck. It's just every single hand is just going to give you a way to take care of. You're going to be able to get your pennies in the back in the deck, at least kill Daughter. That'll be 4, and then you have 3 more damage to put out, which you can do whatever. Yeah, okay.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the pennies, and then, so, like, yeah, Zaramis is sitting there as a result of that, having to decide exactly how to respond. Because, like, any amber you produce is just going to be stolen next turn.
Yep.
Or at least 2 of them. And like I said, neither of these decks are designed to like pop off and produce, 10.
No, they're definitely MM grinders.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if I know they've reshuffled. If we're expecting one of the Infernuses to roll back here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's gonna
quite
take
nice
that.
before the reshuffle.
Yeah. It's going to take some favorable draws. One thing I've noted a lot on Keyforge is just, like, favorable draws tend to come after the unfavorable ones. The game is long enough to provide some, lines of play, even if you start rough, usually,
Mm-hmm.
I think this is especially true in NKFL. I've noticed a lot more emphasis on, like, having decks that have a lot of answers at the end of the game always, versus decks that are trying to punch somebody in the mouth, which like you see a lot in like KFPL type contexts. But here it's like I kind of always want to have an answer, and everything's very tactical. It's a very different meta. It feels more kind of a weird thing to say, but it feels more like a board game kind of feel. Whereas like I when I play like in American leagues, it tends to feel like closer to like a TCG feel, like I'm playing like Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic the Gathering or something, where like people are kind of coming with that immediate like aggro kind of philosophy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We do see Simon take Algernon off check here through a very, very clever use of the artifact, Monument to Shrix, and then also using the Mutagenic Serum to allow even Ivan to steal. Of course, that's going to get stolen back with Penny, but then Simon can just go Saurian and steal back that stolen amber.
Yeah.
Which is really quite ideal here. We've got
perfect
pennies down that are doing nothing. Lights out is definitely going to do something, though.
Yes. Yeah. Now, what do you...
Like that?
Presumably you're going for the Saurus Rex and the even Ivan.
Yeah, that's so, and it's one of each house too, so that always slows you down. It's something. Oh man.
Yeah, I agree, Ketzer. This is a very interesting matchup.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised by how many answers Zaramis's deck has in a very not ideal circumstance. And I'm surprised how well Algernon's deck kind of fights against what Zaramis is trying to do, right? Like, it's like, if I was going to pick a deck to fight against the kind of lineup that Zaramis has, like, I would bring something like this. Like, Bounce is so valuable. Like, Pit Destruction is really good. Like, having consistent access to C in all houses.
Oof.
Okay. We see the Monument come in off of Animator. Standardized is just huge there. Monument is going to steal.
Yep.
Sloppy lab work.
Yep.
I don't know though, because it's like, I guess Zaramis is. Oh, there's a discombobulator. I'm like,
perfect. Yeah, and Zaramis does go to another sneaky check off the Monument Shrix.
Yeah, we're kind of dead even here. I can't imagine that Algernon is going to have something in Shadows that removes that. He could. He definitely could.
Well, they do have 3 archives, so we could be looking at another Lights Out.
Yeah, he's cycled. There's only 1 Lights Out in deck now, which gives you... Oh,
yeah, there it is. There it is. Yeah.
On. Oh man.
I'm gonna type oof.
The redraw.
Now, should I just type skill issue in the chat?
Nah.
I don't want to tell Zaramis. But no, that is a superb draw there from Algernon.
Oh man. That'll probably lock that game. I can't imagine that there's a response.
No, I don't imagine so. I think that discombobulator was going to be really important. Yes, I don't.
Check though.
Yeah, does go to check. Yeah, check on 7. Just draw good equal win. Exactly. It's better to be lucky than good. And there's the key lock. That's sort of surprising.
Yeah, I don't. Huh. Yeah, I don't know about. Well, I guess it keeps Simon off of key 2.
And I suppose if you're forcing Zaramis to gain more amber in their pool, you have more things to steal.
Right.
So
yeah.
that could be the assumption there.
Also, the end state for that Algernon wants is a huge archive, just where it's like steal. But we are seeing Shricks resolved every single turn.
Mm-hmm.
And Simon, the interesting thing is that Simon has to be the one to go through this key lock, right?
Yeah.
That is the advantageous part of playing it, because, if you make it through, then you just win. But so he's going to have to be the one to push through it. Unless you win. So.
Yes, yeah, exactly. They do archive a look over there.
Encoder gets you up
and
to 7
Nexus,
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 archives now.
Brutal. Auto encoder doing a ton of work. As always, it's such a impactful artifact.
Was there any chance to kill it with the animator instead of stealing one?
Probably, but I think the Algernon had a lot of tempo. They were often checking, so I don't know if it was
I don't know if there was, because it was I remember the last one was on an empty board. I can't recall if there were logos chances to do it. Zaramis plays Mindfire to get rid of a Dino Alien, which actually really only helps there. Implosion on the Fruitery is absolutely massive value here.
Yeah.
That being said, Algernon has 8 cards in archive, 5 in hand, in a deck that can steal your wallet pretty well. So I'm imagining we're just going to see penny.
I would think so.
They
go logos.
Instead go logos.
Eclectic Inquiry.
So, okay.
Oh, and they reshuffle, so Infernus value is not going to be there.
Oh, I see.
There we go. They pay 9.
Yeah, bust the key lock. 3 amber still on the monument. That's a massive tempo swing. I can't believe that was the best turn that Algernon had to take. That felt too good to allow. But he knows his deck, and he's getting the huge hand together.
Archives at 11.
Yeah, so, but Simon's going to keep going here. He can keep stealing while keeping the pool at 0, so, I mean, what else? Why would you do anything else?
Yeah. And with a Faust on board and the Snarrat and...
Yeah, we're going to see, obviously, Quintrino's going to happen here, right? There's no way.
I mean, it'd be too juicy not to.
Yeah, you can kill all the 4s. Just do. You can kill 4s and 6s.
Is that a steal 1? No.
Oh boy. Well, it doesn't. It wouldn't matter anyway. Yeah. So Quintrino's going to come down, killing all the creatures. 4s and 6s.
I guess why not? Why don't you just discard that alien for another archive?
Because
Oh, I
you
guess
don't
you
want
you want to kill the Anguish too. I get it.
yeah, you want the Anguish dead, at
Got
least
it.
in that valuation. I think you would definitely have the destruction to deal with it anyway, so I think I'm kind of with you on that. Logo's call, where we'll still see the stealing off of the monument. I would love if we had some cap enhancements to just pop on, but discards Lethalogica. Yeah, he just can't produce any Amber. That is a check, though.
That is a check,
Obviously,
absolutely.
Algernon will have to respond by stealing at least one, most likely. But he's going to have to check himself. Like, this has to be a turn where he just bursts to a number that Zaramis can't control, right?
Yep. And Zaramis says, bring it, Rad Pennies, yep.
Yeah.
I mean, an Archive's at 12. I mean, there's got to be some pips in there.
I mean, your only response is to check hard here, right? Like, I guess you could get Keylock back down, but that's only going to stall.
Yeah, I don't know. That Monument Tricks is posing some inevitability.
Yeah, I'm just looking at ways for Algernon to tax the key. But yeah, I mean, he's going to have to go Shadows.
I know, 12 cards on Archives gets her. Not a small number.
But I mean, you just have to play all your pips, right? Like,
just slap down any die.
This offense, yeah, this offense had to come earlier.
And they have to take off this check here, too.
Yeah, I mean, if Zaramis is able to pull this off, this is really one of the most impressive wins I've seen in a very long time, because he just had every disadvantage.
Yeah, this is a superb game from Zaramis.
Yeah, but I think Algernon is going to be able to present a very sizable check here that's going to be hard to respond to.
Well, it does take them off check.
Yeah, so the penny will do that job.
And with no way to deal with that monument, it's gonna check indefinitely after this.
You've got Nexus. Nexus can use Animator to bring it to the
flank
front.
And then fight it. That is a great point.
Yeah. So, and that would be game ending. So
yeah.
You notice Simon went out of his way to kill that Nexus.
The first time, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, the first time, just like that thing needs to die. So that's gonna have to be the philosophy here, because that's the one response to that hard check.
I mean,
Simon has no shortage of C on his end either, though, so I don't think it'll be an issue to, like, if he can stop the check, the Nexus probably can die really easy.
I guess it might even be worth going Logos next turn and just fighting with the Cubex Spot Bookton and animating the Shrix again to get yourself to check.
I'm thinking he probably has a better.
Probably.
Like, at this point, yeah, I'm thinking he has a better C answer.
Sack of coins.
Have we seen Axiom yet?
Not redrawn.
Yes, we don't. Yeah, we haven't seen Axiom yet. We could see a very good Saurian turn potentially.
There is one card in Archives for Zaramis.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like some Saurian turn to answer this check. That check had to be higher than 6 from Algernon. It just had to be higher than 6.
Yep, that's not enough. At this point, they're banking on the Nexus play.
Yeah, I mean, does he have any answer? I guess Keylock. But like, if Simon just produced 0 Amber and steals with Monument right now. But we see a disc call, maybe a Mark.
That's got to be an Infernus, too.
Mark of Disc Gateway, yeah.
Gateway. Yeah. There's the Infernus.
So we've seen. How many pennies did that kill?
2.
Red penny. 2. Okay, so they're in the deck.
Double Infernus.
That's a. Yeah, that Shadow Council, you just you can't play it there into the Mark.
Yeah.
Because it's not giving you any value. I guess the Nexus was there anyway. because you have
Well,
the
I mean,
pressure with
you needed the
Nexus, yeah.
Nexus to deal with the monument, so Shadows
Yeah,
is
so you might as
probably
well
going to
put
be
it
your
out.
call anyways.
Yeah. But that's a check. That's a check from Zaramis there.
Well, that's going to be very difficult to eventually respond to.
Yeah, so Penny will do the immediate job.
Yeah, exactly, Wethel. And also, I think Nexus needs to live there for AlgernonR to deal with this monument. They don't mind getting marked there.
Look over there. Maybe Spike Trap to bring everything back. Yeah.
Yep. Very good Spike Trap, I think.
But Simon is only celebrating with the Infernus and discards. Never mind. The cycle. The draw just cycled. Never mind. I mean, you go Saurian and you yoink. The only answer at that point. Wait.
Oh,
what?
they misplayed. They misclicked the Amber. Which pool they took it from?
Wait.
Oh, and they didn't discard their Shreks.
Oh no.
So this is gonna go one turn longer. It's Zaramis
no.
types FML. So this is going to go
man.
one turn longer here.
Oh, that's incredibly painful.
Yeah, this game Zaramis had this game in hand there, and just
wow.
it's one of those pieces where you forget to.
It can happen to anybody playing this game. It's such an intricate game. Like one mistake, it's incredibly easy to make. I should say though, playing this Citizen Shrix, yeah, he can definitely still win because you'll note that Algernon is not drawing new cards because of having to take the encoder hand. So the pennies are not like he doesn't have the pennies.
That's a discarding at axiomic risk.
Yeah, I wonder if it was worth like warding the Shrix, but
that's kind of where I'm at. But
I
mean, they also want it dead, to be honest.
Okay. It is though. Yeah, Algernon has no answer to the check at 6 maybe.
Yep. There's Neurosiphon, Inquiry.
Nothing. Yeah, no more. Yeah, the Amber control is pretty limited, and Algernon's like, wow.
GG.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's you thank the Keyforge gods for that one, and you move on to the next game. You just go, okay, cool. I got my lucky moment. Keep going. But I will say, other than that one misplay, just an absolutely masterfully executed game plan by Zaramis there, and there's a lot to learn going over that. If people watch in like subsequent rewatches, that would be the game that I would be like, you gotta take notes there.
This is a game where you study it. This is one of those games where it's worth a VOD review, an intensive VOD review.
Yeah, it was a very, very good game. Ketzer says he's never seen the Monument of Shrix do so much work in one game. I have, but usually it's in duplicate when it's doing that much. But that was just, yeah, I mean, he's like, if you're not going to check and a number that I can't control, I guess I can just steal one per turn with a pool at 0, and then all you have is red pennies.
And it also helps very much having the animator to do it on both houses.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, the animator was really wonderful in this game, and with neither player having real artifact control, those artifacts get very good.
Yep. And yeah, the red pennies are kind of a dead draw if Zaramis doesn't generate Amber once their peeps, but they also have, it's one of the few ways of controlling it with no artifact control available to them in Shadows. And also, there's no artifact control available to the deck and to deal with that monument, on top of there being so much, it's one of their main ways of progressing their own game plan is stealing that Amber.
Yep.
So, very well played to both players. It's a very, very impressive game. So now we're on to game 3. That is, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen some luck balance, though. Like, that it really is a good thing about Hexad, both in the terms of the season and in terms of the format. Like, a high roll is not going to be enough to win or lose it for you.
No, absolutely.
So we're really seeing it come down to the last game. And that's exactly like what we want to see at this level, right? Like both players, their decks, and abilities really showing off here. It's pretty exciting.
That's a fair point, 1-star peeps. I'm not sure, but the problem there is that I don't know if Keylock really gives Algernon. Algernon needed to check hard on that one turn. Really.
Yeah. He needed to check hard at like any point during those like several turns. It's just like you could feel the clock ticking, and it's just like you have to check, like how do we, right? But like the Quintrinos get to some extent get in his own way, right? Because it's like he's preventing himself from reaping out. And then, like, you know, you always have that threat of Mark Gateway, which was absolutely massive. Like, you know, it was like Simon managed to present just enough there of a threat that just kept those turns from happening. It was just, I really, that was an unbelievable game.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, the pennies didn't necessarily deal with the monument check either. So I guess the point there is to discard the pennies to dig further for the key lock.
I agree. At that point, Simon is not giving you enough amber to steal. The problem is with that strategy, if you do discard them, then Simon knows that you've discarded them, and then he can produce amber. So I don't know if it's 601.
Yeah, that's also a very good point.
I don't know enough about how detailed. I don't know the same detail of the player's deck that they do. But if he's putting the pennies back, it might be because it's optimal. Even if it still is a losing condition, it still may have been an optimal move.
At the very least, they would provide the existential value of, you know, Zaramis cannot generate amber.
Right, exactly. So it's like the thought being like, oh, maybe maybe Mark of Dis is the bottom card, or like he doesn't have a gateway, right? Like, you know, Mark of Dis isn't even the thing that hurts, it was a gateway, right? Like maybe gateway is the bottom card, and then I can do the Nexus thing, and then I just win, right? Like that. I think that was his last win condition, was using the Nexus. Yeah. So he's setting up that win condition to use the Nexus to get rid of the monument. In which case, if that is your win condition, then you do want to shuffle back the pennies. So like that's the way that I see that move. Whereas like Murph was saying, like Keylock doesn't actually get you further, right? Like it doesn't get you towards what you need, because you're just not dealing with enough pips at that point. You're just sitting there with no pips. And, you know, Simon was really kind of intelligent to remove the pips from the deck early as much as possible. Like, he really did aim for the pips with the Infernus rather than the creature control, which makes a lot of sense now that we've seen it executed. I do wonder about, you know, the other way, like if you had gone for the C, if you would get some more board permanence and win that way, but I just didn't expect the value off of the monument.
Yeah, I don't think any of us did.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a good point, Wethel. If the pennies are discarded, the Infernuses certainly will eliminate those, and then Zaramis has nothing to worry about for game plan wise. But that was end of the game, so I think that the Infernuses are already in the discard pile at that point.
Okay, so we could start with Algernon's deck here, which is Implosion, double Mark of Dis. We have an 8-inch jar as well with double Inspector, so just a really nice Dis with a Harvest Time. So this time we do have that artifact control. DAV with a lot of mutants, so we're going to hope to draw that early. Vault's Blessing obviously is going to go well with that as well. The Logos is a bit like utility, but a lot of the things are good. Cyberclone is plus, Daughter is plus, Double Bot Booked In is a board threat. You also have EP to deal with some kind of Amber Rush, so lots of things going on in Sickling. Do you want to take Zaramis' deck?
Yeah, for sure. And these players are playing at a very classic. So Zaramis brings Gazakri, the Witch of the Green, which is definitely a classic Zaramis deck with a absolute monstrous number of creatures. And there we go. We got a stealth mode off Zaramis to stop AlgernonR from doing their thing on their turn.
Yeah, one of the things I've always really liked about Gazakri is not just the number of creatures, right? It has the what's the name? The double Officer Gray can basically put an entire key cheat in your archive. So if that big board does get destroyed, then you just Harmonia, you know, rush, key charge. If they don't clear it, then you have City State, Imperial Forge. And so it's like you're putting and what?
And we just saw the Tribute six Emperor combo come out from Zaramis there early, and also putting out a Questor Yarda, so off to a very very fast start and commanding start here from Zaramis.
Yeah, that's a big play there. The lost condition for a deck like Gaza Creed, though, is it really doesn't have much creature control. So he's going to have to get some creatures out here. That we might see some Harmonia value, maybe. It was a big tax with the Pismire, actually. But, oh man, we see the double reap with the Ghost Hawk. Absolutely dirty. Regrowth. Gives us back walls.
And camouflage there on Quest is definitely going to make it a bit more interesting for that Flumph. Yeah, see ya, Ketzer. You have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, I wonder. We talked about this in the last game that we were broadcasting, but I wonder if you discard Ghost Hawk and then take it back with regrowth rather than getting walls back in your hand. But he might be broadcasting that his hand just is a lot of Starlines coming up. So if he's going into Starlines anyway, then fine. Yeah.
Yes, and I guess then if you're Jar comes down.
Jar comes down off of Bookton. Oh man, that is brutal.
Rough.
Now, what do you take out? I might choose to take the Harmonias.
I was thinking Harmonias.
Gray.
Maybe
Officer
maybe the Bruton Auxiliaries and Gray could be good.
So he chooses Gray.
Yeah.
Oh,
Zaramis got there. I'm assuming they're. I say, what a fortunate top deck. Oh, for Eden Star. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the walls. And the walls will bring back. Yeah, okay.
I wonder if the call on the Gray was because he knew that Zaramis was going to play Star Alliance by choosing the walls.
I think so, probably.
Like a more immediate kind of response. But I really think like you're trying to board out here. I think you got to take those Harmonias. Or the Britodons turning 3 cards dead.
Yeah.
You have plenty of ways of killing Gray. I guess Gray gets immediate value too, which is what makes Gaza Creed like work. Like I get it from like a structural perspective, but an immediate play perspective, I'm not as sure about.
Man, these bot Booktons are doing a ton of work.
Yeah, they're just really good, and like Gaza Creed needs like an answer to it.
Comm Officer Kirby coming down with the little amount of anything but creatures in Gaza Creed. I don't imagine the Kirby will get much value here. Oh, but they do off of Phalanx Rank.
That'll be enough to kill Harbinger.
Yeah. Taking some of that burst pressure away.
Okay. Each player at a key here. Let me see. Simon's been doing some hand shaping here, so I mean, we gotta be looking at the like big Harmonia key turn coming up pretty soon. Because like all that the Booktons, Effervescent, really good play on the Effervescent there. The Booktons might help out.
Oh man, and they play a Mustic
Mindfire.
Oh, this
discards.
yeah,
discards it. Yeah, so
that's big.
Bookton plays Mindfire, which gets rid of the Mustic, but that board is just gonna like the board hasn't gotten too large, so the Harmonia value is not going to be insane yet. We see another Star Alliance turn. Walls is going to bring back Explorer Rover.
Back on a Kirby.
That's going to allow Kirby to fight, which is actually probably. We'll see. We'll see what Simon chooses to do here. It depends whether you're trying to let your opponent board. Nah, yeah, he's just like, no, I can't let like chonkers beat me. Like, come on.
And scoot him there onto the walls.
Yep, negating that 1 amber.
And protecting the quadricorder too.
Right. Walls has elusive as well. Okay, now we're seeing some board come out. I think like Zaramis needs to get that key charge off. Vault's Blessing is going to take Algernon to 8. Yeah. Rapid Evolution is going to make the Pismire massive, which is actually one of the biggest plays of the game, actually, to just keep taxing at 8.
Yeah.
We do see that Untamed call. That, I mean, that's just had to be what he was prepping for. Second Harmonia comes out. They stack.
They
So you're going to
stack.
see, they count themselves and they stack. So you're going to see a
Huge.
very productive turn here, most likely with a key charge.
Wow.
But no, okay, no key charge, but it's
And
still,
the EP
it's
already
still
out. Is already out too.
right. Yeah, so Simon's going to probably get key 2 here. So again, Algernon needs to get that kind of, you know, the hand. You need the hands for it, but you need that like killer instinct here to just, you know, like you need to get your key now. Like,
Yep.
Though the I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, City State Imperial is still at play here. So now Simon has a non-trivial amount of creatures. We're looking at a 5 amber captured.
With
off
one
of the City
already
State right
on
now.
walls.
Right. So 6. That means that your cost would be 8 plus 2 for the Pismire. So you'd have to get to 10 in order to resolve a City State right now. It's not out of the question, but it probably won't happen this turn. We see Algernon making the board bigger here. If you can't kill the Harmonias, it doesn't seem advisable. They need to be dead.
And I do also, you know, Harmonia does certainly. I wonder if that would have been a more detrimental call off of the jar. Oh, Harvest Time though.
Yeah.
Going to purge the Harmonias. It looks like.
I really think that for the jar, I would have jarred the Harmonias. They're just so high value against your deck that's trying to board. The Greys are high value, but we're talking about 1 card archived on each, and then you can just kill them. They don't have elusive or anything. Whereas, and also, like, the Greys, what are the Greys trying to do, right? They're trying to archive the Harmonias. So it's like, I mean, they can archive the Saurian stuff instead, but it is...
Yeah. AlgernonR asking, what's the chance you don't sit with key charge?
About 50-50, right?
No comment.
Yeah, no comment, yeah. Yeah, key charge is the really dirty key cheat here.
I mean, 2 here, right? They
just,
also
like,
Imperial Forge.
Yeah, Imperial Forge is a little bit less viable, though, mostly because of that Pismire taking it, so you have to produce 10 amber, and just no creatures on board. So it really has to be key charge if you're going to do this. Okay. Now, Harvest Time is going. Yeah, Harvest Time is going to take out his own creatures in order to go to 8, using Cyberclone to purge and get around the Scutum. So he's basically saying, all right, there's my check. Where's your key charge? If you have the key charge, you win. If you don't, I win.
Yeah.
But of course, Zaramis could also have City State. So Zaramis has 2 significant outs in this situation. Oh no! Congratulations. He has neither answer though. City State and key charge in bottom 6. No key charge. Is City State isn't gone, right?
I don't think so. I don't remember it being played.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I can't believe he doesn't have either. That, I mean, talk about unfortunate draws.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's a really amazing play by Algernon. Like I said, he had to find that killer instinct.
Yeah, no City State.
Just, like, yeah, oh, man. He had to find that instinct at that moment in order to resolve, you know, to get a big check, because that's his only way out there.
Yeah.
So absolutely well piloted by Algernon. We're talking about a 3-2 game to finish a 2-1 series. So I mean, this was just as tight as it could possibly be by 2 players that know each other, top-notch play. You couldn't ask for more. And good luck to Algernon. This is the semi, right?
This is the semifinals. Yep. So the AlgernonR does advance to the finals to face off against Wiz or Christopher.
Right.
So
which means in Gold League, I believe that seals up his KFPL 5 invite as well. I'll make sure to confirm that with Syzox. But I think that will cover that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 out of 11 to draw key charge. 5 out of 11 for City State. Yeah, it's just really unfortunate to have neither answer, especially when you're sitting with Ludo.
Yeah.
Like, So good, but that harvest time was so timely and well, executed, um, for the rush, knowing that you have to rush, that your only answer is to win via this check, because you're not going to win next turn, because he's definitely going to have one of those two answers.
Hmm.
Playing to his outs, I can't fault him. Can't fault
Nope.
him. The only thing that I could say about Algernon's play there, you gotta jar those Harmonias. I really think that that's the play.
Yeah.
Um, are just so high value in Gaza Creed, and then you're going to board. Like if you're boarding successfully, you know that Gaza Creed doesn't have much C. You just can't let those Harmonias get such value.
Yeah. I mean, it is a form of it is a board deterrent, just in the sense that Harmonies will burst quite hard if you develop it. So.
Yeah, Simon also has the magic power to draw them in duplicate. Uh,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, that was a crazy set. I'm glad you watched too. Red Panda, who is another teammate of ours. So really
Mhm.
glad to have you on there. Man,
Yeah. Thank you everyone for watching. These are three really good games.
Mhm. All right. Just keeping an eye on the chat here. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome and well played to both. Zaramis's win in game two was an incredible piece of gameplay.
Yeah, the game two was really the game that he won, even though maybe he shouldn't have, just due to pure pilot skill. Like that was, yeah,
Skill,
that
grit,
was
and
just,
determination.
yeah. So just taking it to a game three was absolutely huge. I mean, Algernon also just consistently playing to his outs. Um, in especially in games one and three, just knowing exactly what he needs done in order to take down those two specific decks. I can't argue. Can't argue.
Certainly not.
All right.
Yeah, Algernon saying that that they are tired now, and after three very intense and thinky games. So I know it's also getting late there for in the Nordics. It's about 10:35. So I know it's also getting late on top of being three rather intense matches.
Yeah, I will also say we're hoping to cover more competitive play here consistently. We're really happy to be covering the NKFL final stages here and just have it documented for posterity. Make sure that you subscribe here and on our YouTube. We're going to make sure that we're giving this incredible quality of play the coverage that it deserves. And you see the Nightbot giving the YouTube for Swindle Dust Chronicles and for Murph's channel Fudginator. Uh, I'll be posting my own content on Dust Chronicles too. I decided it was best to rebrand that whole channel.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
awesome, Ethel. I think Karen and I really hope to. One of the things that I love about doing stuff like this is bringing such incredible Keyforge gameplay to the community. Because I think often, a lot of times, some of the best games never, you hear about them, but you never get to see them. And so I think being able to share some of these really incredible games is best for the whole community.
Yeah. Plus, we're just nerds for commentating this stuff. We learn a ton as players from watching a game, especially like game two, where you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess that is an out in that situation, just seeing really high level play, thinking about it from an outside perspective, really stretches you as a player. So I'm happy to be doing it. Yeah, not enough Keyforge content out there. I think it's coming though. I think it's coming.
It's
Don't
definitely coming.
make no mistake. It's like we have a game that is on the rebound here. So
And there's lots of
people
small creators that are creating right now, and you've got tons of them.
they're all competition that we must crush.
they're all colleagues that we have to prop up. That's what you mean, Karen.
Oh yeah. That's right. Sorry.
Yeah.
I get those two mixed up sometimes.
We certainly did enjoy all the matches, Zaramis. They were really awesome. So thank you so much for and you, AlgernonR, as well, for allowing us to commentate them. So yeah, that was awesome. Those are three awesome games, and you should be very proud of your gameplay for all three of them. And it's unfortunate that you certainly didn't take home the win to go to the finals, but certainly should still be proud of your gameplay. And AlgernonR definitely exemplified their own skill and reason to be in the finals for sure.
Yeah, it was both players. It was just no joke. Like you both knew what you needed to do. I can't, I can't fault either player. Also, we could talk about how fast that hexad happened. They're both executing those plans really fast. Like we're at an hour 17 here. Normally, we're at least at an hour and a half. And we've done some banter after the game, and I imagine a little bit of banter before the game. So.
Yeah, no, it certainly has been. These are two very, very experienced NKFL players, and there's a reason they're in gold, and they both are. I'm sure. I know Zaramis does a lot of planning beforehand for matches like this, so I'm sure they both came into this match very well prepared. And AlgernonR signs off for the night, and they need to go rest their. They both guessed the bands exactly. See, that is the kind of NKFL stuff is, and the order of picks too. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the quality of players. It's like they know each other. They played each other so many times. They know the decks. They know the lineups. Like, it's there's almost no mystery there, which makes it all the more exciting. It's like it's kind of like the cool thing that NKFL produces. Like, I've noticed so I'm like a big football fan, and the teams that you have to play twice a year in your division, you can see that they always play tighter. Is it just like, oh, like I know the players that you're calling, and you do a little bit more work to prep for each other because you know you're going to play each other more. It kind of gives you those little rivalries and friendships that another league wouldn't. So Zaramis I picked Karkis in the first because I thought he picked Burton, but I didn't want to pick Ping in case he didn't. Yeah, so Karkis was the second best alternative.
Yeah, very fair.
Makes a ton of sense. Yeah, it would have been great if you had Ping for that game too against all those archives.
Yes.
Boom, 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 boom. I'll take 11 Amber. That is about all I have to say on there. Oh, we do have another note here. And I thought he picked Burton because he would think that it was at least. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the best features of the Nordic Hexad is the mind games that have to be played on pick order.
Yeah. Also, just seeing the camaraderie between the two of them and just kind of everybody in general in NKFL. I don't sense any bad feelings or even I mean, there's some degree of tilt when bad plays happen or just like unlucky stuff happens, but like the fact that they feel free to be like, oh, that was a lucky top deck for you, knowing that it's no insult to the other player. Like they both know that they respect each other as players, and I can't say enough about the kind of quality of community that the NKFL has fostered. So
absolutely, I know in my 3 seasons of play, I've never had a bad experience with any of the players in any of the leagues, and everyone's usually quite happy to banter and chat, and it's very nice. It's a very nice community to play within.
Yeah, it's a big deal to not tilt after a turn like that, Faust. Yeah, you just need to like let it go and move on and play clean because you just have so much ahead of you playing.
Yep. No, you just have to take note of it and let it go, and just make sure you're on top of it for the next game or the next turn.
Yep.
Well, I think that's more or less it from me. We'll give it a little bit of here before we move on to closing out the stream. And if you haven't heard, Karen and I are streaming on Thursdays from 7:30 to 9:30ish on and that's New York time or Eastern Standard Time. So if you are interested in watching that, I know that's late for EU times, unfortunately. Hopefully we can get some EU friendly times as well. But that's currently where we're streaming. So if you are in those time zones and do want to watch, then you're more than welcome to come hang out with us. We'll be doing those every Thursday, and we're also hoping to cover. Go ahead, Kieran.
I'm so sorry. In addition, though, like if it isn't good with your time zone, we have the YouTube, which we just linked. So everything that we do here will be posted on the YouTube. So don't think that you're totally missing out. Didn't mean to cut you off, my bad.
No, yeah, and So yeah, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the Twitch channel, turn those notifications on if you so please. And yeah, keep an eye out for more from us. And we're hoping to cover the NKFL finals as well. So it should be some fun games there. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you to everyone in chat. I always super appreciate people coming in, people chatting people chatting with us. I think it makes the streams. Thank you, Ethel, for the follow. Very much appreciated. And you know, we really appreciate people coming in and chatting with us. It makes the streams a lot more fun, a lot more interactive. So thank you to everyone for coming out and watching, and thank you to Algernon and Zaramis for the absolutely wonderful set of games, and congratulations to AlgernonR for moving on to the finals. So other than that, thank you all for coming out. You all have a wonderful night, and I will put us into the end screen. So that is a thank you from me, and that is a thank you from Karen.
Thank you.
And everyone have a good night.
Good night.
See ya.